I'm Madame Donut, and I own Donut Dynamite with my husband. We live and work here on Maui. We opened our store about 7 months ago in the town of Wailuku. So I went to Culinary Institute of America at Greystone campus in St. Helena, California. And I think it was worth it. I had a great education, great connections, and that's actually where I met my husband, who is also my partner in Donut Dynamite. Frank and I met at school. He was a class ahead of me. He had already gone to the CIA in New York, so he already had his degree in culinary arts, but he decided he wanted to learn more about pastries and wines, so he moved to Napa Valley. We were doing an event called The World of Flavors, and we were working together. We hardly really knew each other at the time, and he was pulling out some naan bread, the Indian bread, from the oven. And this guy, I tell you, can touch like flames and not even act like it's hot. So I realized they were coming straight from the oven, but the way he was holding them, it was like, okay, room temperature. So I grabbed one and dropped one. It was like, whoa, that's hot. It's like, oh, delicate hands, huh? And at the time, I needed to prove myself, you know. I was new in the industry, so I held on to those breads like it didn't hurt. While I was buttering them, and somebody had come in and asked us if we needed help, and he was like, I think she's got it. And I was like thinking, yeah, you're right. I got it. But I think I gained this respect from then on, and the rest is history.
How did the idea to actually make donuts as sort of like a business? I mean, was there something like the aha moment when that came about?
I always loved donuts. My very first job was actually at Dunkin' Donuts when I was 15. But at the time, I did not make the donuts. I worked the front of the house. But I think my awareness of donuts kind of came about around that time. I did not think I was going to be making donuts for the rest of my life after that. But you always have a soft spot for it, you know. So many years later, I became a pastry chef. Somehow, I would always sneak in a donut on the pastry menu in every place that I worked at. I always thought it was fun. They're the underdog of the pastry world. And I found it to be challenging, changing people's minds about donuts. Because when I tell people I wanted to make donuts, they're like, really? You're a CIA-educated pastry chef. You want to make donuts for a living? And I say, yeah, because I'm going to change the world through donuts. I wanted to change people's view of something that could be so simple and humble and make it elevated to the type of food you would get at a high-end restaurant. Other pastry chefs have actually made brioche donuts, but they were always in a high-end environment. We started our business selling donuts at the Maui swap meet. So I remember the first time we were there, and we had Gimme S'more donuts and bacon maple and just some really interesting flavors that they had not seen before on a donut. They were literally looking at us and they would walk away. And then one teenage boy actually came by and he's like, that's interesting, you know. He had $3 in his pocket, so he bought a donut. He walked away eating the donut. Before he could walk far enough away, he turned around and said, that is the best donut I've ever had. Now, he was probably 13, 14. He probably had no idea what he was talking about. But I thought, somebody that age got it. Like, there's a difference. And I looked at my husband and was like, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. This is different. It's amazing. And everyone's going to agree. So from the Maui swap meet, we added on doing events at the KA Fourth Friday, and then we were really active in community events. And then not too long after that, executive chefs of hotels, 5-star hotels, were actually coming to us telling us that they wanted to carry our donuts in their hotels. At first I was like, whoa, don't you have full-size bakeries in-house? And the executive chefs of the establishment themselves were saying, but they don't make your donuts.